Hello, welcome. So today we're going to take a look at r/best of Redditor updates. We've got a nice long little post here, it seems, so get yourself comfortable. Make sure you have a little drink and a little snack, and we will get into it. So if that sounds like something you'd be into listening to today, then please do stick around and enjoy. And don't forget to like and subscribe, please. Thank you. Okay, so this one was posted to the subreddit by Direct Caterpillar 77, and the title is Me, 25M, with my girlfriend, 24F. I recently met my work partner's wife, and the differences in their personalities is making me jealous about what kind of relationship I could have. Okay. So the original poster was you/work partner's woes, and we have some trigger warnings for use of a slur, which of course we will not be repeating today, so don't worry, verbal abuse, accusations of infidelity. So originally posted January 14th, 2016. I've been with my girlfriend for 6 years, and recently I've been wondering if she is really the one. I didn't doubt that she was until I recently started a new career and got a new partner at work. 99. 99? I mean, maybe. Many people can't afford to retire these days, I suppose. 29M, flippin' heck. He's been married for a year and has been with his wife, 28F, for 7 years. We, him and I, spend over 40 hours a week together and have become fairly close. We've been talking about double dating so our significant others can meet. And when I brought it up to my girlfriend, I'll call her Sarah, she was really against the idea. In all honesty, she's been against this new career change in general, even though I make more money and get more benefits. What? Because she doesn't like the hours, and she says everyone in my profession cheats. Okay. When I brought it up, she became very distant and said something along the lines of, don't remember the exact words. Why would I want to spend time with these people and give him, my partner, the idea that he's so close to me, can ever know me better than she does? She sounds weird from the off. It didn't really make sense, but after talking about it, it seemed like she felt like she was being replaced by my partner because we have to spend so much time together, and I only get to see her 2 or 3 times a week with my schedule, her part-time job, and she's going to uni full-time. Now, I'm trying to think what the career could be with them having a partner they would spend so much time with. Maybe like police or something like that. Either way, I'm getting the big fat hint that she is pretty controlling just from this alone. It's the words that she uses. They are very reminiscent of things I've heard before in relationships of my own in the past with people that ended up being quite controlling. Then a few weeks ago, I was at the bar with my cousin. She was invited, but she doesn't like my cousin because she finds him too boisterous, candid. Does she like anybody? And I ended up bumping into my work partner and his wife. My first time meeting her. His wife is very unlike my girlfriend, much more extroverted. She immediately got very excited when my partner told her who I was and told me about all the funny stories she'd heard about me. I was kind of thrown off about how open and friendly she was, since my girlfriend sort of convinced me that her feelings of not wanting to meet, associate with them, were normal. I mean, being nervous to meet with or associate with your boyfriend's work partner and their wife is normal, because obviously it's a lot of pressure, isn't it? You want to make sure that you come off as well as possible because that's the person your fella works with, you know. I would get that. I would get feeling nervous, but being like, oh no, I just flat out don't want to, because basically in the long and short of it, she's jealous how much time you spend together. Like, goodness me. And like every other girl would feel that way, I guess. I don't know. I am a woman myself, and I can tell you now, it would not bother me. Not one bit. I'd be nervous, yeah, but I would meet them because I'd also be a little bit excited because I'd be like, oh, I want to find out who my fella's spending all that time with. I want to know who's behind all the stories that he comes home and tells me, you know? But his wife immediately launched into how we have to all get together finally, and watching the two of them together was just so opposite of how my girlfriend and I act. They animate each other like a 2-person comedy act, and I found myself becoming a bit jealous. I did get a little tipsy and admitted to his wife that my girlfriend was worried about the cheating that people associate with my field. And she sort of laughed and said that people say the same thing to her, but that she trusts my work partner and she just laughs it off when people say things. Yeah, because it's all about the person you get with. It's got nothing to do with the job they do. If they are inclined and the type to cheat, they will do it no matter where they work. If they are the type to not cheat, it doesn't matter. They're not going to do it just because they're doing a specific job. At work the next day, my partner ended up telling me that my cousin I was with at the bar was talking to his wife and confessed to his wife that he doesn't even like Sarah. News to me. I mean, yeah, because he doesn't want to upset you, mate. And that the things my cousin told her, he didn't specify, worried her because she was really looking forward to hanging out together. And she was now afraid my girlfriend wouldn't like her. I pressed him for more details, but he either didn't know or didn't want to say. That night, I mentioned to Sarah casually that I bumped into them, and his wife really wanted to meet her. She didn't like this, and again told me that she was too busy and had no interest in pretending to be best friends with people who think they're so close to me. I dropped it because it was late, but it started to get on my nerves how opposite these two women are and react to things. Then yesterday happened. My work partner and I had a really early meeting in a city about an hour and a half away, and the night prior we weren't getting out of work until 10 p.m. My work partner offered to let me stay at his house because we had to be up at 4:30 a.m. and he lives an hour closer. I was stressing out because I didn't have time to iron a suit, and I called Sarah and asked if she would go to my apartment, we don't live together but she has a key, and set a suit up for me. It's crucial that we look put together at work, and I knew she wasn't doing anything that night. She got really angry, first that I was staying over at my partner's house. Yeah, I'm really getting the hints of a very controlling personality type right there, you know. Then that I was treating her like a slave. I have never in my life asked her to do anything like this, but I'm still very new in my position, and I'm stressed out. She said she had too much work to do and refused. I ran home after work, grabbed my stuff and drove to my partner's house. I guess I was visibly agitated because his wife asked me what was wrong the minute I arrived, and I just spilled it about how stressed and exhausted I was, nervous for tomorrow, and how Sarah had snapped at me and wouldn't help me. His wife just said, "Okay, we will have to go back to that Sarah thing another time, but go relax and I will get your suit ready." I tried to argue because I felt really bad, but she wasn't having any of it and started to flat out ignore my protests while she got the iron set up. Aw, bless her. It just showed me again how different they are and what a supportive partner looks like. Yeah, see, I'm the first one to be like, I am not your skivvy. I am not ironing all your clothes for you every day, blah, blah, blah. However, if I had a partner, they rang me up in a panic, they needed a suit getting set out and ready, and they needed it ironed. I've never actually ironed a suit in my life, but I'd give it a go, you know, to help out my partner and make sure that they weren't stressing. I got off really early today and I have barely talked to Sarah all day. Now I'm just drinking beers in my apartment alone, something I rarely do, and wondering if this relationship is even worth it anymore. I don't have a crush on my partner's wife or anything, but she seems to possess all of the qualities I feel like I want, and I am finding myself getting really jealous and annoyed. But after 6 years, I really don't want to throw everything away if this is something we can just work through. I'm sorry, but if it's been 6 years and she's been like that the whole time, it's not getting any better, my love. And I understand what the OP is saying there. They're not saying that they're pining after their partner's wife. They're pining after the dynamic that those two have together and pining after a similar relationship. I totally understand that, because I imagine some people listening or reading would think, what, you want your partner's wife? No, that's not what they mean at all. TLDR, after meeting my work partner's wife, I'm starting to see how many qualities she possesses that my girlfriend doesn't have, and I'm starting to become very jealous about what a supportive relationship could look like. 6-year relationship, am I getting too hung up on grass is greener syndrome? I see I'm getting a lot of recurring questions, so instead of answering each of them, I'll leave this here. We don't live together because prior to this new job, I didn't make as much and my apartment is very small and not meant for 2 people. And she is doing her master's and only works part-time for low pay and doesn't want to pitch in for rent, so we can move to a bigger place. She lives at home with her parents. Even with my new job, I can't afford a bigger place all on my own yet, while also paying for student loans, utilities, my car, which is a necessity where I live, etc. Also, I know 2 to 3 times a week seeing each other is not a ton, but we spend all of my days off together. We didn't see each other more than this prior, either because my old job was still 40 plus hours and I was also going to school. People think it's strange that I mentioned her being introverted as if it were a bad thing. It's not. I used to think I was happy not seeing our friends often, but my job is social in nature and I find that I enjoy being more outgoing than I used to be. This doesn't mean I go out every night. I see my friend's cousin maybe once every 1 to 2 months, or that I want to go to bars and clubs, but it does bug me that anytime I suggest doing anything, that she makes an excuse, like she doesn't like the person, has no interest in meeting new people, doesn't like seeing her friends, doesn't feel like getting dressed up, she's tired, etc. I want us to do new things together. I suppose the other possibility here could be that the OP's girlfriend has quite a bit of depression, because there was something there just then that put my ear up a little bit where it says she doesn't like seeing her friends, doesn't feel like getting dressed up, she's tired, etc. So it could be a little bit of a mental health thing, but at the end of the day, still, if that dynamic is not serving the OP and they are not happy, they do have to consider whether they want to continue with the relationship or not, despite the reason for why it is that Sarah's acting that way. Additionally, I've been asked a lot of what I've done to support her and why I expect support. Let me make it clear, first, that I have never asked her to run an errand or do anything for me before. I asked this one time because I was exhausted and stressed. I didn't expect her to drive an hour to drop it off at my partner's house, just leave it on my bed so I could grab it on my way home. As for what I do to support her, I've helped her many times with research for papers when she was stressed over school. I've taken a week off of work when one of her relatives died because she needed to be with someone. I've taken her to get her car fixed numerous times, etc, etc. I text or call her whenever I can, which is multiple times a day, and I talk to her every night when I get off. I don't even spend tons of off-duty time with my partner. The one time at the bar was literally the first time I've seen him outside of work. We have just been talking about all getting together for ages. Hope this clarifies some points a bit. So then we have another update 5 days later. Sorry it's been a little while, but I decided to update after the past week of what's been going on with me and Sarah. First though, I wanted to add the edit that I included on my original post here, since people were asking the following questions a lot, and I'm not sure if everyone saw it. So obviously we have just read all of that, so I am not going to read it again. So, now that's out the way, I'm not a spy or a hitman or something crazy. A few of you tried to convince me that I'm an a-hole for not disclosing my job, since apparently I can't be given advice without saying it. But why? The job doesn't... You don't need to know what the job is to know that she's being very ridiculous about saying, oh, people in that job cheat. A job's a job, no matter what. Like, my sister's husband does a job that people say that, oh yeah, they always cheat when they're doing that job. But no, it's just a job. I described so many details in my last post that I hope people can just give me at least 1 ounce of anonymity. My career is known for cheating only because of the unpredictable hours. Some scumbags, apparently a lot of them on Yahoo Questions and Wedding Bee, and other cesspits of advice that show up on Google, use these hours to their advantage. I.e., oh, I got caught on overtime tonight, when really they are out cheating. This is not a prevalent thing in my experience, but my girlfriend Sarah was Googling my career spouse, came across hundreds of articles of most of them benign, and latched on to the few that stated we all used our schedules for the sake of cheating and nothing else. I'm not being funny, you could say that about any shift worker then. Like, that's ridiculous. Anyway, on to the update. I'm not delusional. A lot of you told me that the only reason I admired my work partner's wife is because she showed her best face to me in public. Of course, this is true. I don't expect anyone to be perfect. What stands out to me, however, is that there is a lot of downtime in my position, and my partner and I bullshit. Every single thing he has ever said about his wife is positive. Naturally, I would hope that would be the case for anyone, but I see something in the way he talks about her that I do not feel when I think about Sarah. He ruminates about their vacations and silly stories and stupid random nights that they have together. And I realise that I don't get to enjoy any of that with her. Oh yeah, I totally get that, because you do. You know, when you are in a job where you kind of have a lot of time just to sort of sit around and talk to each other, you know, if the partner was having issues with his wife, you know, or there was things going on that were less than favorable, you'd at least pick up on the vibe. Although quite often, you know, they would just talk about it because they're sat there so much together. You know, you start to just kind of waffle, don't you? And things like that do come out, because who else are you going to talk to when you work in such long hours? Sarah doesn't like being out of her comfort zone. She doesn't like being spontaneous. She doesn't like being silly. I never knew that this bothered me before, but when I saw how funny and silly they acted together right in front of my face, it just confirmed that I could actually have fun in a relationship. Honestly, if you can't have fun in your relationship, it is not worth it. Oh my goodness. Unless you're both two very boring people and are happy being very boring and sour-faced all the time. No thank you, not for me. It made me realise that I am not having fun, and that sucked. So, after I slept over my work partner's house, Sarah wasn't talking to me except for sending me passive-aggressive texts about how she hoped that I enjoyed my romantic evening. Oh yeah, no, it's definitely she's just a controlling, miserable type. And that she hoped he was worth it. What she think you were doing? Spooning with your work partner? Oh my goodness, Sarah, get over it. Grow up, lovey. Come on. So, the next time I was off, this past Sunday, I took her out to brunch, one of the few activities she likes to do, bought us some mimosas to break the ice, and tried to talk to her about the way that she's been feeling. I started the conversation saying, I know it sucks that we can't see each other as much as we wish we could right now, and believe me, I wish that that could be the case. However, I feel like this is causing more tension than it used to, and I want to know what you've been feeling about all of this lately. I was hoping for an honest conversation where we could both learn from each other and move forward with new compromises. But she just unleashed. She told me that she just doesn't think I have a reason to be close to anyone but her. Wow. That my partner sounds like a slur for someone who is gay. Her words, not mine. What a massive bitch. That just wants to f me. That his wife is probably just fed up with not getting any dick from him and is trying to move in on me, and on and on. Yep, she's controlling. She's controlling. Controlling paranoid type. Ditch and run, OP. Ditch and run. In retrospect, I feel like she is just very insecure, and this was her way of attacking me and trying to hold me back so I could reassure her. Now, I just think she's a massive bitch, but me and you obviously have a different way of viewing this. And I might have a very salty bias on it because I've been out with someone exactly like this in my younger years. And yeah, it culminated to them trying to make sure I had no friends whatsoever. So, run. But at the moment, I couldn't think of a way to respond. I tried to deny what she was saying, explained to her that it wasn't the case, and asked what I could do to show her. But she just kept verbally assaulting my partner and his wife, and me for even entertaining the idea of being friends with them. The fact that she said that she thinks that he has no reason to be close with anyone but her is such a big red flag. Like, if anyone ever says that to you, that you're in a relationship or a friendship with, ditch them. They are going to be no good for you, and it will, I promise you, get so much worse. That kind of mindset is an abusive mindset. And it's one of those things that you easily overlook at first because you're like, oh, they just want me to themselves and I'm so flattered. And then it turns into verbal abuse and emotional abuse and psychological abuse and actual physical abuse. Run far and wide. I stopped talking and we ended up finishing our meal in silence, her fuming, me just feeling awkward at this point. Afterwards, we got back into my car and I started driving towards her house. She noticed that we weren't going towards the direction of my apartment and started yelling at me for trying to drop her off and not wanting to spend more time with her. At this point, I had had enough. I drove to her house in silence, her berating me the entire way, and then listened to her continue to scream at me for 10 minutes after we pulled up, until finally getting out, slamming the passenger door, and going inside. I went back to my apartment, spent about 30 minutes on the phone with my sister, 2 years younger than me, asking her what the fuck I should do, and then decided, probably cowardly after such a long relationship, but really not wanting to be screamed at anymore, to send her a long text about my reasons for breaking up with her. Honestly, I think that's the best way you can deal with people like that, is to break up over text with a good bit of separation between you, because face-to-face can very easily get quite ugly, to be honest. She didn't take this well and blew up my phone over and over until I just turned it off completely. The next day I had work and I tried to talk to her about things back and forth over text, but she kept deferring back to her state of cursing at me and insulting me. In the end, I just told her that I could no longer be a part of her life and blocked her. Yes, OP! So that was 4 days ago and I haven't heard from her since. She deleted her Facebook though, and honestly, I've felt a lot calmer these last 4 days than I have in a long time. It makes me feel guilty at times, but also kind of excited that I can act however I want to act from now on without seeing someone looking down at me for it. It's so good when you get out of a relationship like that. The relief is palpable. TLDR, tried to work things out, took Sarah out to brunch, we got into a fight, and I broke up with her. Good! Final comments. Made you read penis? Says change your locks. Other than that, let me reiterate the shit that I said that got buried the first time round. Hey man, you can have a relationship like your partner has, but probably not with Sarah. Sarah isn't growing as a person like you are. Yes, Sarah is very comfortable stagnating and just staying in her own bubble, which is fine for some people, but you know, you can't expect your partners to be like that too. I've been with my wife 17 years. We grew together. We are both extroverts compared to what you're describing, but my wife is far more introverted than I am, even being more introverted. She is happy and welcoming to all of my friends and has many work friends that she introduces me to regularly. She is more interested in staying home, but will always join me out with friends. I work a demanding job. Although my wife is anything but a clean freak, I will often come home to the laundry being done on the day that I'm supposed to do it if things were rough. I do the same for her. If she has a problem with someone in my life, it's for a damn good reason and I cut that person out. My youngest sister is boisterous. I mean, she's 19 and crazy. We just had dinner with her and her new boyfriend Tuesday. I've never seen my wife dislike someone for anything but a serious reason. The most important thing to me is my wife, but an extremely close second is my best friend that I've known since we were 4. My best friend is a pretty girl. How did my wife handle this? My best friend immediately became my wife's best friend too. There was never a day of jealousy from either one. They formed their own meaningful and important friendship. Seriously, they are closer to each other than anyone else on the planet. They spend almost every moment together, with or without me. Love that. It sounds to me like you've grown and realised what you want and need in a partner. It sounds like Sarah wants and needs something else, and honestly, it sounds like Sarah isn't grown yet. I don't think she's bad. I now think she's unhinged. I just think you're becoming a grown-up and you're starting to realise that love isn't the only thing the relationship needs. You're starting to realise you need someone to be on the same page as you, and you need a positive person that wants to support you succeeding. Sarah sounds negative as fuck. Also, if I'm being honest, it sounds like you've become more successful in your life with this new career, and it sounds like Sarah didn't want that. Sounds like Sarah doesn't want you to grow because she knows she can't grow herself, therefore she can't keep up, which is what's happening. Sounds like Sarah doesn't trust you not to cheat on her. Why be with a person who doesn't want you to be more successful? Why be with someone that doesn't trust you? It also sounds like if you want to keep your relationship with Sarah, you should stop talking about the drama, because career-wise, it will negatively affect you if people know that you are dealing with relationship drama like that. Thank God you don't want to keep that relationship. Holy homophobic hell, exactly. By the way, holy shit, I was waiting for an update on this one. So OOP then says, oh man, I forgot about that part. I asked her for a key back when she was yelling at me in the car, so I have both. Edit because you did. Thanks for that. No, I don't want to keep the relationship. I want someone like your wife who is open to new friends once in a while. I don't expect my significant other to like everyone, and that's fine. But they should at least meet them before they make a decision, in my opinion. I don't think I'll have another update unless something seriously crazy happens that changes my mind, unfortunately. Right now, I'm feeling a lot better than I expected I would, and I am very glad about that. Honestly, when you ditch a toxic relationship like that and a toxic influence, it does feel like such a massive relief. It's crazy. So, down in the comments of the Best of Redditor Updates post, Quicksilver1964 says, OOP saw a healthy relationship for once and noticed how toxic his girlfriend was. Hopefully that was the end of it. And then Annoyed Owlbear says, relationship aside, his ex struck me as just mean, just in general. Yeah, definitely. And then Bronwyn Noodle says, prejudging people she had never met because she already decided she doesn't want OOP to have friends outside of her is hella mean. And then they cross that out and put abusive isolationist behaviour. Exactly, it is abusive behaviour. Okay, so I think that's all we've got time for today. If you made it all the way to the end with me, I appreciate you very, very much. If you give a little like, subscribe, notifications on, that is your initiation into the Coven of Void. Welcome. Whatever it is you're doing for the day, I hope you have a really good rest of the day. Goodbye.